Alright, so Daddy promitheth and Daddy giveth. Fuck, that was hard to read. Okay, so let's take a look at Infinity Tower 10, like I said that I would. So this stage is actually not that bad because of the difficulty over here, because of the star ratings, right? So attack domain, after an enemy takes an action, their attack is increased permanently, which is okay because you can just control their AP, or you can just land stuns. Now, slow force field, enemy attacks have a chance of inflicting speed down. This is quite forgettable because if you have Espers that can cleanse, this is really nothing. And Blessed Theft, I think this is probably like the main one. So when enemies deal damage, they have a chance of stealing buffs. So if you have buffers like Gabrielle and you have immunity, they are most likely going to be able to steal it. So just be careful if you're using buffers in this lineup. So for me, I am still going to be using a little bit of immunity in the form of Clara. Just hopefully they don't steal the immunity buff, and hopefully they steal the shield buff instead. But you know what? From what I last heard, Clara is a free-to-play Esper because you can just wish her directly for free from the wish pool. So what do you know? This entire team is completely free-to-play. So let's take a look at all of their stats and some of my advice for some of you guys as well. So the minimum speed for this current content, if you are using like let's say an AP pusher, right? If you're using an AP pusher like Clara, her minimum speed is 270. And that 270 also includes the speed lead as well. So yeah, just take note that there is an additional 20%. So my Clara is actually like 262, but because we have an additional 20% speed lead, it's like 262 times 1.2 basically, which is more than 270. So as long as you have more than 270, you're always going to take the first turn. That is basically it. So for this particular content, the first wave is a little bit tricky because it has a lot of Inferno types, which means that your Lo Mian, who is usually like your go-to controller, he is not going to perform as well. And so how I mitigate this is to bring both Ira and Pritzker as well, so that we have, you know, we cover all the different elements, right? So as you can see, we were not able to freeze everything, so we can still use our Pritzker here. And we secured the freeze, the stuns, right? So the rest of this content, or at least the rest for this first wave, is just basically a lot of control. Just keep controlling them and using our Jiangman to deal the damage, right? So she is responsible for the bulk of the DPS here. And I didn't beat this content using this team. I beat this content using Anesidora and Tricky, and I even used Gabrielle as well, just to overload buffs. So overloading buffs is also pretty decent because they are not going to be able to steal the important buffs, right? They could steal the defense up, it's fine. They could steal the shield effects as well, that is also fine. So just make sure you're cycling through all of your skills and make sure that you're applying your Nether Bloom wherever it is needed, right? So yeah, that's about it. So just perma-stun, and that is the end of wave 1. And there we go. Okay, so moving on to the second wave. This is not that difficult. The only issue with this particular wave is that RNG might suck for you. So sometimes RNG sucks and you don't get to land the freezers, you don't get to land the stuns, and therefore the Ophelia can like possibly one-shot you, right? That happens. If it fails, we just have to reset. That's about it. But as far as like, yeah, okay, so as far as difficulty goes, just make sure that you land a freeze and you should be okay. So here Long Mian is perfect, right? Because of his typing advantage here. So using Pritzker, you don't want to waste his stun because you want to make sure that when Ophelia gets out of stun, you use this to stun her again. So we're going to use our first skill just to absorb AP. We did absorb the AP, which is perfect. And then the rest is just history, right? So just make sure that you're, okay, so now that they are completely out, right? So just make sure that they continue to stay stunned. See, the Ashley actually stole the immunity that we had, so that sucks, right? I think she stole it from my Ira. So we're just gonna go ahead and try to work on the Ophelias. I think that's the main important thing, because they bring all the damage in this lineup here. So it's good that we got both of them stunned. Now we just need to make sure that the Phantom Sisters are controlled as well, because that's perfect. So silencers are perfect for Phantom Sisters. Like, that's all that really matters. It doesn't matter if she is not stunned as long as she is silenced. Oh my god, ouch. Now for the Ollie here, he is not that big of a threat. It's just that he goes into invincibility and that's about it. Come on, RNG stun, come on, let's go. Nice, very nice. So whenever you have a situation like this where all Espers are stunned, yep, like I said, just use Pritzker to normal attack the Ashley, and that's about it. Just absorb her AP whenever you can. Sorry, just give me 1 second, my cat is calling me. Cat reveal! Holy shit, ouch. 20,000 freaking damage. Oh my god. So she's going a bit rampant right now because of the stacks that she has, right? Because if we take a look at this attack domain, after an enemy takes an action, the attack is increased permanently. So that's where the bulk of the threat is. But this is also why Pritzker is so good, because he can perma absorb AP. That's why I keep focusing on the point where you need to make sure that Ashley's AP is reduced. It's very important. And that's about it. So that's Infinity Tower 10. And what I must say is this lineup that I'm using here is like I'm just gonna coin it. It's like the power quadruple. So the Longmian, Pritzker, Ira, and Jiangman. These 4 epic Espers are possibly the best controlling Espers in the game. The best, because not only are they really good at what they do, right? They have a lot of stunts, a lot of control, cooldown reset, everything, silence as well, poisons, everything. They have so much inbuilt into one kit. So they're very effective in just clearing like all kinds of content in this game. So if like specific floors have resistance to stuns, specific floors have resistance to AP control, you can just pick apart like whatever that you don't need. So for example, if you cannot stun the enemy, then you might want to remove either Pritzker or Longmian, one of those, but I'll probably still keep the Longmian because he has slows and he has a little bit of AP reduction as well. I mean, Pritzker also has AP reduction on his first skill, but you can replace it with something like more efficient. Or if the enemy is immune to AP control, then definitely remove the Ira, right? It doesn't really make a lot of sense to bring her that much. So yeah, something like this. So these 4 Espers here, they are enough to clear all kinds of PvE content. Just any combination of these 4. And of course, Clara being like the ultimate free-to-play Esper right now, definitely a very good pick for this particular content. So that's about it, right? The main bulk of this, just AP control Ashley and use Jiangman to do the damage to everything else. And that's about it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's content. If you have any other questions, let me know down in the comment section below. But if this video was helpful for you, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Derek Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.